American history is a vast, rich tapestry woven with the threads of countless cultures, ideas, and events. The earliest threads in this tapestry belong to the original inhabitants of this great land, the Native American tribes. They were here long before any European set foot on these shores. Their cultures, diverse and vibrant, ranged from the nomadic tribes of the Great Plains to the advanced civilizations of the Mississippian culture. This land was their home, their hunting ground, their sacred place. Then, in 1492, a new thread was woven into the tapestry. A Genoese explorer named Christopher Columbus, under the auspices of the Spanish crown, set sail westward, hoping to find a new route to the riches of the East. Instead, he stumbled upon a new world, a land that would later be known as America. Columbus's arrival marked the beginning of a new era. It was not long before other European powers followed suit. Spain, France, and England, with their powerful navies and insatiable thirst for wealth and power, began to explore and colonize this new world. They brought with them their languages, their religions, their customs, and their ambitions. Yet this was not a peaceful merging of cultures. The arrival of the Europeans brought about profound changes. The Native American tribes faced devastating diseases, territorial encroachments, and violent conflicts. Their way of life, which had persisted for centuries, was dramatically altered. As the Europeans staked their claims on this new world, they also brought with them a new wave of immigrants. People from all walks of life, driven by the prospect of a better life, made the perilous journey across the Atlantic. They were farmers and craftsmen, merchants and adventurers, religious refugees, and those in search of freedom. They all came with hopes and dreams, ready to carve out a new life in this vast, untamed land. So began a new chapter in the story of this land, a chapter filled with hope, ambition, struggle, and change. As the colonies flourished, a new identity began to take shape, an identity that would soon challenge the might of the colonial powers. Imagine, if you will, 13 colonies, each unique, yet bound together by a shared destiny. These colonies, nestled along the eastern seaboard of a vast new continent, began to thrive. They grew in population and wealth, cultivating a rich tapestry of cultures, religions, and ideas. But as they grew, so too did their tensions with the distant British crown. The colonists felt the heavy hand of British rule, taxes imposed without representation, and restrictions on their freedoms. These tensions mounted, sparking actions and reactions, igniting the flame of revolution. The Boston Tea Party, the Intolerable Acts, the First Continental Congress, these were not mere isolated incidents but the escalating steps towards a grand confrontation. The Revolutionary War, a conflict that would span 8 long years, was the crucible in which this new identity was forged. Ordinary men and women, farmers, merchants, and artisans took up arms against the might of the British Empire. They fought not for glory or conquest, but for an idea, the idea that a people should govern themselves. And in the summer of 1776, that idea took form. The Declaration of Independence, a document as radical as it was inspiring, proclaimed the colony's break from Britain. Penned by Thomas Jefferson, it boldly declared that all men are created equal, with unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The war raged on, but the nascent United States was already laying the groundwork for its future. The U.S. Constitution, drafted in 1787, established a federal government with checks and balances, a beacon of democracy in a world dominated by monarchies. Thus was born a nation, a republic built on the ideals of liberty, equality, and self-government. This is the birth of a nation, the birth of the United States of America, a nation that would go on to shape the course of world history. But the young nation would soon face a trial by fire, a test of its unity and its principles. Emerging from the celebration of independence, America was not yet united under one vision. The North and South, two halves of a whole, harbored different ideals and economic practices, a rift that grew wider with each passing decade. Tensions flared over the issue of slavery, an institution deeply embedded in the Southern economy, yet morally repugnant to many in the North. The South feared the loss of its peculiar institution would cripple its agrarian economy, while the North championed the cause of human rights and equality. The spark that ignited this powder keg was the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860, a man whose stance against the expansion of slavery was well known. The Civil War, a bloody and brutal conflict, tore the nation apart from 1861 to 1865. It was brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, in a struggle that would determine the very soul of the nation. The war ended in a Union victory, and with it came the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery once and for all. But the scars of war ran deep. The South lay in ruins, its economy shattered, and its social structure upended. This was the era of Reconstruction, a time of rebuilding and transformation. Former slaves were now free, but freedom was a bitter pill in a land still nursing the wounds of defeat and loss. The Reconstruction era was a time of great change, with the South grudgingly adapting to a new social order. It was during this period that the 14th and 15th Amendments were passed, granting equal protection under the law and suffrage to all men, regardless of color. Yet, the path to true equality was long and fraught with setbacks. The nation emerged from this crucible stronger, more united, but with deep scars that would take time to heal. As the 20th century dawned, America stepped onto the world stage, a stage it would come to dominate in many ways. A new century brought new challenges and opportunities. America's involvement in the two world wars marked a pivotal shift in global dynamics. The nation emerged from the ashes of the First World War as a significant player in international politics. The Second World War further entrenched its position, transforming it into a superpower. Yet, the period wasn't without its struggles. The Great Depression of the 1930s shook America to its core, testing its resilience. But as history has shown us, America is a nation of survivors. It clawed its way out of the economic abyss, setting a precedent for perseverance and recovery. The mid-century brought a wave of change that transcended borders. The civil rights movement, a struggle for equality and justice, became a beacon of hope, not just for Americans but for oppressed communities worldwide. The fight against racial discrimination, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., left an indelible mark on the nation's history. As the century progressed, the Cold War created new frontiers of conflict and cooperation. The ideological tussle with the Soviet Union defined much of America's foreign policy and domestic affairs. Yet it was also a period of remarkable scientific and technological advancements. The space race, for instance, took mankind to the moon, a feat that symbolized the limitless potential of human ingenuity. The technological revolution that followed has changed the way we live, work, and communicate. America's role in this transformation cannot be overstated. From Silicon Valley's tech giants to the cultural influence of Hollywood and the music industry, the country's impact is felt in every corner of the globe. From a land discovered by chance to a global superpower, the journey of America is a testament to the power of dreams, resilience, and the human spirit. In a mere 9 minutes, we have journeyed through centuries of history, but what a journey it has been! We've witnessed the early inhabitants of this vast land, their cultures, their trials, their triumphs. We've seen the arrival of Europeans, the tension and turmoil of the colonial period that led to the birth of a new nation. We've experienced the heart-wrenching discord of the Civil War, a test of unity that forever shaped the nation. We've stepped into the modern era, a time of rapid change and progress, of triumphs and challenges. Each era, each event, each individual has left a mark, contributing to the rich tapestry of American history. As we look to the future, we carry with us the lessons of the past, ready to write the next chapter in the incredible story of America.